I'd like to talk now about how to hold and move the sticks. And we're going to talk about match grip first. Match grip just means that the left hand and the right hand are held and moved in exactly the same way. And I want you to think about the word rest. And we've created an acronym for the word rest, which is relaxed, efficient, smooth, and tension-free. Yeah, I know that tension-free and relaxed kind of mean the same thing, but I needed a T word to finish the word rest, so I come up with tension-free. If I was going to double one of these words, that's the best concept to double. One of the problems, I'm a drum corps guy, have been all my life. I love drum corps, I love marching percussion. But one of the pitfalls in it is the fact that students very often are taught to play with a grip that is way too tense, way too tight. And they're told to play outdoors with a very downstroke, very aggressive motion down into the drum. I teach percussion at Rutgers University in New Jersey, and so many of the kids that come to audition for a spot at the university that have a strong corps or marching percussion background come in, and it ends up that they can really only play rudimental or marching snare very well. And then they take that same approach to their other instruments, to timpani or xylophone or marimba or concert snare drum, where it doesn't work so well, drum set. So we want to use the acronym for REST, and we want to pay a lot of attention to that. So we're going to start with just the right hand. And you would teach this way whether your student is right-handed or left-handed. I happen to be left-handed, but fortunately for me, I was taught from the time I was 11 to play normally, to play like a right-handed person. I'm eternally grateful for that, for having had a teacher with that kind of foresight. Because when I was a kid, many left-handed students were taught to play backwards. They were taught to play left-handed. I would strongly encourage you not to do that. So we need to address the fulcrum. The fulcrum is the point between the index finger alongside of the first knuckle and the underside of the thumb. The fulcrum is the point of control of the stick. And on most models of drumsticks, it is about 1/3 of the way up from the butt of the stick. So on this model, I want my fulcrum, I want my grip to be right about here. So I can hold the stick and control it just with the underside of the thumb and alongside the first knuckle of my index finger. Then I want these three fingers to touch the stick, but very loosely. No tension, no squeezing anywhere. If you squeeze the stick too tightly, the wood itself sounds like this. If you're holding the stick correctly, the wood itself can resonate, and you generate a sound like this. That sound, that resonance, translates into the instrument itself and will help to determine whether the drum speaks openly and musically or whether it's too restricted and too dampened of a sound. So we start right here. Just enough tension between the thumb and index finger to maintain control of the stick. 3 fingers on the stick, but very light, very loose, no tension. The way we're going to play right now, the palm is down. Notice that this part of the grip is slightly open, alongside the thumb, alongside the index finger is open. Do not squeeze that together. That helps create this kind of sound and way too much tension. Start with a position that's open. This grip will be much more universally applicable when you go to from marching snare to concert snare to timpani to mallet percussion instruments to drum set. We want to leave this part of the grip very open and very relaxed. So now we've established that the height of the instrument is proper for my body type. Our arms are down at our side. We've established the grip with the right hand. I just want to, with my lower arm, bring my arm up so that the bead of the stick is in the center of the head. Now we're ready for the stroke. To play a stroke, 2 things will motivate or move the stick. One is the wrist, which in this case acts as a hinge. It lifts straight up and moves straight down. Straight up and straight down. At the same time the wrist is pushing down, these 3 fingers, especially the ring finger, pull up on the bottom side of the stick. So if you could imagine I have a drum in front of me on its side, so you were looking through the bottom head, this is what you would see. You'd see the wrist pushing down and these 3 fingers pulling up. So when I go to the drum to do that, I want to play from here, lift with the wrist or the hinge so the bead of the stick is above my hand, and then I'm going to push the wrist down and pull up with the fingers. So here's the stroke. Okay? When we play match grip with the left hand, everything is identical. Here's the fulcrum, or the grip. Here are these 3 fingers on the stick. Palm is down. This part of the grip stays open. The butt of the stick is slightly outside of my wrist bone. You see that on both hands? The butt of the stick is visible to me by just looking down. The wrist is a hinge. It lifts up, pushes the bead down with the wrist, and these fingers pull up from underneath.